Morning folks, and welcome back to another film. Right, we're in the workshop today because this week's film's been scuppered by the weather. Now, I was meant to be going out photographing short-eared owls yesterday. I went out, did a bit of a recce on Tuesday. The weather was a bit naff. It was supposed to be really nice on Thursday. Anyway, I went out yesterday morning. It was horrendous. Sideways snow and sleet. So that kiboshed the short-eared owls, unfortunately. I didn't see any on Tuesday, so that's going to be another one for the future. We'll be going back to that. So Santa's little elf is in the shed today. So we're in the barn. We're going to be doing a bit of creation. It's a Kirsty Does Christmas, but photography style. So we're going to be making one of these. I'm going to show you how to make one of these. Now, if you're wondering what it is, if you've watched the channel before, you'll have seen me using these when I've been doing my camera trapping and photographing the owls. And all it is, it's a flash box. So there's my flash, got the receiver on it, and if I'm using it in, any weather, if I'm leaving it out for camera trapping, I obviously want it to be, safer in the rain and what have you. But also, when I'm using it for the owls, I want it in something that if the rain comes in, it's not going to get wet, because these aren't waterproof. So I want some form of protection for it, and that fits in there just grand. So we're going to go through making one of these, how we turn one of these plastic pasta containers, or a clip lock container as it's called, into one of these flash boxes. So stick with us and see how we do it. So this is a brief list of what you're going to need for this little project. Now these, if you're in the UK, I've got these from B&M Bargains. B&M Bargains, £3, cheap as chips. The beauty of these ones, they have a clear base in them, yeah? So this old one that I used, different make, what I had to do was put a Perspex base in there because the bottom of it was opaque. Well, obviously you want that clear for the flash to work. Now the issue I've had with this, even though I epoxied it in, I dropped the flash in one day and it knocked the bottom out. So I've had to tape it up, so it's not ideal. So ideally, try and get one with a clear base on it. Tape measure, a few little drill bits, sandpaper. This is the insert for the bottom. Now that is, I'll put the numbers on now, that's a 1/4-20 insert. So you can see in the bottom of that, the wooden base that we've put on, that's where your ball head or tripod attachment is going to screw into. It's quite a unique size, that, so it's important that you get that right. You can get them on eBay or Amazon. A little box of nuts and bolts, little tiny ones. We only need 4 of them. Bit of epoxy resin or glue, bit of masking tape, and depending on whether you want to spray it, which if you're camera trapping you obviously want it as concealed as you can get it concealed, I would suggest spraying it or painting it. So that's a bit of brown spray paint because it's all I've got at the moment. And then what we're going to do, once we've sprayed it up, we're going to do a bit of painting on it with some acrylic paint. And that is it. You don't need a lot of stuff. It's not a material and tool intensive project, this. Most of this stuff you should have lying around. So let's crack on with it. First job, our container. Take the lid off, get that wrapping out. Now what we want to do is mask the bottom up. If you're just using these boxes literally just for flash and not for camera trapping, you don't have to spray them or paint them if you don't want to, but I'm using them for all sorts of stuff, so I prefer to have them painted. So masking tape on there, and then all we're going to do, we've got a little craft knife somewhere. All I'm going to do is just go around the outside. There we go. It's not critical, but it's nice to be as accurate as you can. So we've got the bottom there is all masked up. Now, like I said, if you're not spraying it, you don't have to do that, it doesn't matter. But these are being sprayed, so all I need to do now, I need to get this surface, I need a key on it for it to be able to take the paint. So all I'm doing, I've got some 120 grit paper. You can use a little sander if you wanted to, but it really doesn't take that long. All I'm doing, I'm just roughing that surface up. It doesn't have to be pretty. So the whole box wants that nice gloss, shiny finish taking off. You can see there the dust that we're creating, and that's giving us a nice key to take the paint. There we go, all done. That's it. So we've got the lid and the actual box all sanded down. It literally took 5 minutes, that, nothing of a job. So we'll just make sure everything's right with that. They just clip on. Now, once we've got to that stage, what we can do now, we need to put a wooden base on the bottom. So that is going to allow us to put this insert into there, and it fixes it to our container. So on this particular box, we've got a recess down there, and 2 flats. I've just decided to, well, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter where you put it. You can put it on that bottom bit, or you can put a bigger piece on there. If you put it on there, you're kind of restricted to the width of that, because we've got that channel. So I'm gonna cut a piece of ply to fit on there. I forgot to mention that before on the list of stuff. We need a little bit of plywood. This is just 9mm, bit of a scrappy offcut. Again, it's not critical, the size. So if we make that, I don't know, 200mm, and we'll make it 60 wide. So 200mm by 60. Okay, that's our base plate done. That's just going to fasten on there. So what we're going to do is put 4 bolts in there, but first we need to put this insert in. That needs to go into the wood. So we find our center, and then we need to get a drill bit the same diameter as that, or just a little bit more. So once we've got our hole drilled, we're just going to whack that in with an hammer, and there we have it. So then that is going to get fastened on that way. That is on the inside. What we need to do now, take our marker, just mark a hole on each corner. This is for our little bolts. And then all we're going to do is just get some glue and epoxy that in place, wait for 5 minutes for it to go off, and then we're going to drill our holes through. A little bit of 2-part epoxy, quick drying stuff. I think it only takes 4 minutes. And then there we go. All we're going to do now is just put that to one side, let that dry, and then we'll get them holes drilled and get it fastened on. In the meantime, we'll have a little clear up. Okay, that is bonded on now. So all I need to do, you see where I've marked those 4 holes, I'm going to drill a 4.5mm hole. We have these little machine bolts. This is what this box is for. So we want 4 washers, 4 little bolts, and 4 nuts. And that is going to secure that on there. So we'll get them all drilled now. We're just nipping these up now. You don't have to go mad with them, because don't forget we've got that epoxy on the bottom as well. There we go. What we need to do now is just trim these little bolts off, little junior hacksaw. So now we should be at that stage. We have the bottom bolted on nicely, we've got our insert in, and really all we need to do now is get some colour on it. As I said before, if you're not camera trapping, you can just leave it like that. You've got a perfectly watertight container to put your flash in. Job's done really. So last thing, I'm just going to make sure the whole of the box is completely roughed up. So I've got a nice key for that paint. There's a couple of little bits we've missed. Just that a quick sand in. And that's it. We've got the bottom masked up. That's ready to go. Right, let's get a bit of colour on. So we'll just pop that lid on. I'll leave them little tabs up. We're going to spray it. So obviously respirator on. Yeah, well ventilated. Well, plenty of ventilation in here. All purpose. Now this is brown. I'd rather it be green, to be honest, but I couldn't find any, so it's what it is. We're just going to give this a spray coat, and then we're going to take it inside and put a little bit more. Right, that's all sprayed up. I'm going to give that, I don't know, half an hour. Dries dead quick, this stuff. We'll take them in. We're going to do another one now, so we're going to have 2 boxes matching, and then we'll take them inside. I'm going to get the acrylic paints out, and we're going to put a bit of camo on. Again, you don't have to go mad with it. You don't even have to spray them up, as I said. But I like to, you know me, I like to mess about. So we're going to put some leaves on and a bit of camo. Right, in for a brew because it's Baltic. We'll get inside now, get warmed up, we'll actually take this in, put it near the fire, get it dry, and then we'll get some painting done. Right, we're all dry, ready for a bit of garnish on it. So I've just been outside, picked a few oak leaves up. That's all we're going to do. We're going to do some oak leaf patterns, maybe a bit of fern. So we're just going to draw them on. And I've decided, because I'm in a generous mood, I'm going to give these two away. It's a bit of a Christmas giveaway, this. So once these are painted, we're going to get them lacquered, and then some lucky winner is going to win the pair of them. All right. So I've decided all you have to do is like the video, subscribe, and then I want you to put a comment in why you should win these two light boxes. This design is taking a little bit longer than I expected. Again, I've got kind of carried away with it. It's quite complex, so it's looking good though. So some lucky winner is going to get these two light boxes. Massive thank you to everyone who's watched and supported the channel this year, either buying me a coffee, which those this week, I'll stick your name up now. That's been superb, really helps the channel keep going, and all those that have liked and subscribed, and like I said, just watch the films, and those that have commented as well. I always try and get back to people when they put a comment on, and the thing is, with the more subscribers you get, the more comments you get, so it might take me a little bit of a while, but I will get there eventually. It's been a busy year, you know, with moving and building the hide and, you know, all that kind of stuff. You've seen it all on the channel, but it's been the support's been fantastic, and hopefully next year it'll just get better. I'll tell you what, drop us a comment what kind of films you prefer to watch. You know, do you want more out in the field, doing overnighters, and, you know, more reviews? I don't know, some people are mad about gear, aren't they? So yeah, just drop us a comment and let me know what kind of films you want to see more of. Just want to mention last week's sponsor as well, Chubby Mealworms. There was a little bit of an issue with the discount code. There's certain things that aren't discounted that they forgot to tell me about. Peanuts and sunflower hearts, they're very hard to get hold of at the moment apparently, so the discount code doesn't work on them. It's just Chubby Mealworms products. That code only works up to the end of the year because they're having a big sale in January, so they'll already be heavily discounted. So we've still got some calendars left over, so if you'd like to purchase a calendar, get in touch and we'll get that to you. Don't forget, they only start working at the 1st of January, don't they? So you've still got time to get one of them. Again, like I said, it helps support the channel massively. Really appreciated. So that's what we're looking at. That's the kind of design I've come up with. Once this is painted, all it's a case of doing is peeling that masking tape off, and then I'm just going to give it a spray over with some clear lacquer, and that'll just help protect it. But that's how I make simple light box. not a great deal of complication to this project at all. So it's just nice to make your own stuff now and again, you know. And I don't know if you can actually buy these, but you know, it's a good little project for a skanky day when it's too, you know, wet and windy to get out there with the camera. Just nice to make your own gear. So that's it for this one. Thanks very much for tuning in. I don't know whether I'll get a film out next week because we've got family coming today and it's Christmas in it, so I might just have a bit of time off. I don't know. I might try and get out and do something. Who knows? If we do, it'll be a surprise for you, won't it? But from me and Dawn, thanks for the support throughout the year. Have a fantastic Christmas and a happy New Year, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheerio.